Hello, this is Catherine from Accelerated Reader. Today, I will be reading Chapter 6 from Two Worlds, a novel of friends and foes from strange places, written by Laura T. Lee. Before I begin reading, I would like to give a big thanks to the author for sending me this book to read on my channel. In the description below, I have included links where you may find and purchase this book. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chapter 6. The day of the battle was a hustle of elves. The main city was crowded with elves as people rushed to get ready. Last week, the walls had been heavily barricaded to keep out trespassers. Soldiers had slept next to the walls as a precaution. Lily pulled a jacket over her t-shirt. She had been told to watch the battle from a safe distance inside her room. She was not to leave her living quarters unless absolutely necessary. From a window, she could see a big army of dwarves approaching the walls, a massive blanket of tiny dots. Trumpets blew as elves, including Jake and Tara, ran to the end of the city, next to the northern wall. Everyone stood perfectly still, waiting for the war to begin. Bam! Whoever was on the other side seemed to be using a battering ram to break through the north wall, and it looked like they would succeed at any moment. That was exactly what happened. As the dwarves' battering ram hit the wall one more time, the structure collapsed, causing utter chaos to both the elves and the dwarves as dust and debris filled the air. Elves stumbled around blindly. Dwarves dropped their weapons in surprise. Jake tripped over a rock and face-slammed the dirt. Back in her room, Lily winced. Ouch! As the dust cleared, Lily began to see the thousands of dwarves that charged toward the elves. Tara was one of the first elves to recover as she lobbed an explosive grenade into the dwarves' offensive line. Kaboom! Little people flew everywhere. The elves seemed to be having the advantage in the war. Suddenly, a bright sphere appeared out of nowhere and hurtled toward the elves. Lily thought, "Why is the sun coming toward us?" Then she yelped and ducked as the sphere exploded. Even though Lily's bedroom was a half-mile away, the shockwave rattled the windows. The large pane of glass from which she watched the battle popped from its frame and fell to the ground, where it shattered. Tara was blown backward like a rag doll and crashed into another elf soldier. As the power of the blast hit Jake, he did an involuntary backflip and face-slammed the dirt even harder. Dazed, he staggered to his feet and yelled, "Gah!" as an airborne dwarf. Was there such a thing as a flying dwarf? Landed on his head. Lily felt sorry for Jake. He was going to have plenty of bruises by the end of the battle. Dwarves somehow managed to trample enemies into the dust, despite their size as they advanced on the city. Tara hid behind a chunk of rubble from the wall. Lily had to do something, or the situation was going to get a lot worse. She grabbed her weapons bag and, seizing 5 ultra-explosive grenades, yanked the window open and dropped them on the unsuspecting dwarf army. Boom! The detonation caused more dwarves to fly. Whee! And took a big lump out of the ground. Lily could see Tara smacking her forehead in frustration. Below her, dozens of dwarves raised dart guns in Lily's direction. Oh no, she thought. They were ready for that. Lily swore and dropped to the ground as at least 100 darts sailed through the large open window and over her head, embedding themselves in the wall behind her so that it now resembled a flat, silver porcupine. Lily rolled to one side and ran out of her room, clutching her weapons bag. In the process, she pocketed one of her ultra-explosive grenades, just in case she lost her bag. In an attempt to get outside, she turned a corner, sped up a flight of stairs, and suddenly found herself standing on a glass platform just above the nearest poop chute. Being so high up made Lily feel nauseous. She attached her weapons bag to her belt and crawled her way across the glass. Creak. Lily's palm rested on a hinged glass door about halfway across the platform. She managed to kick it open. Her feet dangled above the poop elevator box. A dwarf stood with two other companions near the box, having a conversation. "So, what do you think the button does?" one asked. Another dwarf belched disgustingly. "I don't know," he said. "Let's find out." With a hearty laugh, he slammed the transport button with his thumb. The container door slid open. It's now or never, Lily thought. Taking a deep breath, she slid off the platform. Lily landed on a pile of packing boxes. The boxes cushioned her impact, but her fall had not gone unnoticed. The three dwarfs spun around, guns at the ready. Lily flopped inside the metal box as darts hit the ground inches from her. As the door closed, Lily used her pistol to shoot the transport button so the dwarfs couldn't use it again. That was the end of chapter 6. In the next video, I will read chapter 7. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.